My name is Connor Daly. I drive the number 22 Juncos racing car. And if I win the Visit Florida Cup, I'm going to Miami and South Beach because there's lots of beautiful women there.
Not sure if Connor's mom and dad know that's what he's got planned, but he certainly is stamping himself as a competitor and a contender for the Visit Florida Cup, part of the Star Mazda Championship. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you win something big. I always thought you went to Disney World, which also in Florida.
Of course.
My kid would not be going to South Beach. I know that. I'm going to talk to Derek.
There you go. Well, one of the prizes that the Visit Florida Cup champion will have this season is a chance to take a vacation to their destination of choice in the state of Florida. For 7th, Orto and Connor DiFilippi battling for position here through one of the right-hand corners. You've got so much young talent in this series, Johnny O'Connell. It's amazing to see these guys battle, how intense they are, how determined they are.
Yeah, you know, I love it. And you know, for me, it's always a treat to see these guys, to talk to them, to get to know them, help them out with their careers if I can. But you are seeing these guys at such a cool part of their career because they are all courage. You know, they've got a lot of talent that they're developing. But, you know, sometimes you don't see the maturity and you see a lot of impatience, you know, taking place. Right now, though, everyone's settled down and is doing a good job.
Back on board, one of the Team Apex machines, Joao Orto in the 18 car. Certainly a contender here in the early going. Lap number 2 being scored in 7th spot. Johnny, talk to me about these race cars. You raced in Star Mazda with a previous generation of chassis. Spec car, spec engine, the Mazda rotary, spec tire. How hard are these cars to hustle?
Yeah, you know what? They are so much fun to drive. You know, and I think that's one of the reasons for the popularity of it. But and everyone's also running the same stuff. So what is the difference between the guys at the front and the guys at the back? Well, it's not only just driver ability, but the engineering ability of these teams. You see Anderson Racing, they've got a lot of good history. They've had some strong drivers really give them a lot of good data to work from, because everything from, you know, your ride heights to your tire pressures to wing angles, all these things are going to affect how fast you get around Sebring, you know, International Raceway. Right now, though, Connor Daly, a guy working on his own, has got to figure it out.
Down the long front straightaway here at Sebring International Raceway for 12th, Juan Piedrahita, and the 28, Chris Miller, one of the American Mazda scholarship drivers in the 85. And they've got some company back there in the 13 car as well. That's Michael Fafari, who ran several races a year ago. Another young guy, you know, you meet these young drivers, Johnny, some of them look like they're barely out of 8th or 9th grade. That's not too far from the truth. A lot of young guns in this series.
Very, very young guys. But, you know, in order to have a successful career, you really do want to start as young as you possibly can. You know, you look at how Marco Andretti or Graham Rahal, they were, you know, in their teens. You know, Rafael Matos, another really young guy. Every guy that's gone on to have success has been very young. Scott Speed made it all the way to Formula One. One of the cool things about the series, and we're noticing it right now, we're further back in the pack, and you've still got 3-4 guys, you know, and they're dicing it up like it's for the lead.
Michael Fafari there in the 13, getting racing. Chris Miller in that blue JDC car, the 85. Miller, a young guy, I know Mazda Speed. They've got a lot of emphasis on his abilities and his talent, but he's kind of stuck right now behind Piedrahita, who comes in a bit unheralded here to the open.
And this is one of those situations where it's beneficial if you have a good coach, you know, in your ear talking and saying, hey, be patient. It's a long season. We're here to learn. You know, no one's really going to, at the end of the year, remember who won Sebring. I hate to say that, but it's true, okay? But at the end of the year, if there's one guy that's standing out, heads and tails, faster than everybody else in the offseason, you want to be that guy.
Still a good 3-car battle for 12th, 13th, and 14th position. Up front, it's still Connor Daly. There's the 28 car. Piedrahita driving that machine. A little further back to 94. That's Hayden Dewerson, young driver from Florida here. High school football star who wants to make his way in motor racing. Final corner at Sebring under the Mobile One Bridge, out onto the front straightaway. And Johnny, a lot of people may not know the history of this place. It was a World War II air base, still a working airfield behind the racetrack. How rough and bumpy is this concrete?
You know, you have no idea. This stuff was poured, I think, in like the 40s, these big monster blocks.
The 66 car drive-through penalty. Jump start for Rusty Mitchell from Midland, Texas in the Motorola car.
Yeah,
wow.
And you see him shaking his head there. He disagrees with it or is just angry about the situation, but you never like it when you get called on that.
Never a good thing. 4 laps on the board. Let's check in with Tom.
Quick update on David Ostella, who gained a couple of spots early on in this race. He was much happier with the car during qualifying. They had struggled since they first took to the track, had been improving it all weekend. Just been passed now by Anders Krohn, and he has fallen back to 4th spot, but he is much happier in the car now than he was when this weekend started.
Yeah, you know what, and that happens. You know, there are times where you struggle with the car all the way up to the race, and then you get in the race and you like your car. You know, there are times where, you know, right now, you know, you start on the pole and then you find yourself working backwards. So, you know, again, at the end of the day, you're trying to collect data for, you know, for the next round and to help build a championship. These guys at the front, though, they, you know, even if they're not leading right now, they are certainly learning and getting things figured out.
Watching this fight for 5th, the 17 and the 9, Michael Grenier from Canada, Jorge Goncalves in the 9, couple of drivers who raced in the series a year ago, all trailing David Ostella there in the red and white 16 car, who runs in 4th. And Johnny, still early on, one car around, some trouble for Ian Harms, in harm's way.
That's at the exit of turn 10.
Here's another look.
And you know what? He just brought a very wide line there. You know, turn 10, you've got to be precise. You've got to be within a foot of your apex. Otherwise, your amount of traction just really decreases very rapidly. That's what happened there.
So Harms gets going again. Race leader is Connor Daly here in the Visit Florida Grand Prix season opener for the Star Mazda Championship. Well, part of our crew here this weekend is Lauren Jaden. She's the Beaches and Adventure Insider for VisitFlorida.com. We sent her out to find some of the fun here at Sebring.
When you come to Florida, you never have to look very far for a party. But when you come to Sebring, the party lasts the whole week long.
The people, everybody is so welcoming. I mean, honestly, like, you can go anywhere on the track, and people are like, oh, come on over, have a beer, hang out, da-da-da-da. It's awesome. I don't usually know who wins. Does that answer the question?